Welcome, welcome, welcome to Fired Up AuthorSpeaks. As you all know, Fired Up 2 is a collection of inspiring and powerful stories of women changemakers from around the world who are sharing how they have thrived despite difficult situations, difficult health challenges, and how they have gone beyond that and are now ready to share those stories with you. So, all of you who are joining us live, do put a hashtag live. And who are catching us later, do put a hashtag replay. And also let us know where you're joining us from. So, today's featured author is Laura Phillips. We welcome Laura to the show. She's a certified trainer, speaker, and coach, and has worked in customer service in the airlines industry for around 28 years. Welcome on board, Laura.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you, Rebecca.
It's so great to have you again with us.
I'm very happy to be here. So excited about this Fired Up 2 book. I'm so happy to be a part of it. It was something that it was it was really inspiring to be a part of this, and with all the others wonderful authors that are in this book that were in the previous book were all amazing, and then for myself to be a part of this is just so humbling, and I'm very honored to be a part of it.
It's absolutely wonderful to have you with us and to share your really inspiring and touching story of never giving up. So, would you like to share a bit about that, your story?
Sure. Yes. I I went through a very difficult time back. Uh, Now it's going to be over. It's going to be like, I mean, this year, 2022. It will be. It'll be 20 years that I went through my ordeal, and I look back upon it as a time where my life changed in an instant. I had a procedure that I had to have done, and during having that procedure done, I became injured, and I had to readjust my entire life, and it was difficult, hard, but I pushed through it. I had a lot of support. I had a lot of family support, and I had some really good therapists. I worked very hard, and I got the life back that I wanted. That I was told at some point didn't know if I would have back. So I was super grateful. And I just felt like sharing my story, if it could inspire someone that's going through a difficult time, someone that has something, some type of adversity or something in their life that's going on, that things can shift and change if you allow help and you believe in yourself.
Absolutely. You need to first believe in yourself, and
Yes.
then everything will work
Yes.
out as it should.
Yes.
Uh, so, what made you, ready or open to share about this story now?
I think because I had gone through this time, and then about a year and a half ago I had to go through it again a second time, and I realized the importance of you know staying focused and having a good attitude, and reminded myself when I was going through this. I was a lot older. Things were a little difficult again when I had to have the surgery over again, and I kept thinking to myself, you know, I need to let people know in some way, shape, or form that, whatever type of adversity you're facing in your life, and it could be anything. I mean, it could be a loss of a job, a loss of a family member. It could be, just something that you're going through, that, some type of hardship, that, to keep believing in yourself, to keep focusing on the good in your life, and to remember that, you know, with every step that you take, if you have a good attitude and you stay focused, you can create what you want in your life, and to try, to let people in to help you. I'm always a person that's I'm usually the one helping people, so for me it's a little difficult. So this last time I really needed help. Like my husband really had to step up and help with our daughter. I mean, he does anyways, but and I had to welcome like people helping with rides, and just taking time to just heal and not to rush everything. So yeah.
Absolutely. And having gone through a situation where you were paralyzed and you had to relearn everything. So, can you share a bit about that? What were you going through? How did you get through it?
Well, I'll be honest, it was very scary. It was not what I was expecting that day when I went in there. When you read my story in the book, I had a meatloaf in the oven that my father was going to be taking out. And I talked about that. And the reason I brought that up in my story was because, I had no intentions. You sometimes, when you go into a hospital, you're always like, oh gosh, there's a concern of something happening. But I had already had two blocks prior to that, and I just thought, okay, well, I'm just going in for this, this nerve block, and I'm coming home. It was never even in the realm of my thinking that something would go wrong. Um, so going through it, the immediate scary didn't click in, which was odd. I know that my mother was so scared, and my husband, and my brother and my sister, they were, and my father, they were very concerned and scared at first, but for some reason I wasn't. I went in for was going in for the surgery, and I remember talking, to my mom was holding the phone, my sister was on the phone, and my brother was on the phone. And they were telling me, you'll get through it, low, you'll be okay. I remember my sister kind of broke down, and I was comforting her. I remember saying, it's okay, Vicky, I'll be all right. It's okay. Like I for some reason I had this feeling like, okay, I'm gonna go in here, they're gonna fix it, and it wasn't until I got done, and then realized that I couldn't walk, and just I couldn't do the things that I used to do. I mean, holding a pen, holding a fork, things like that. I had to adjust everything in my life. That's when it got scary. That's when it got real. And my little boy, my son, well, he's 26 now, Blake. He was 6 years old at the time, and I touch on that in the story too. That was the hardest part for me, was being apart from him, and not being, not worrying about not being able to be the mom I used to be with him. It was, he would come and see me every day. My parents would bring him up to see me. My dad would bring him up in the evening, and we would go through this. I talked about it in the story. Him leaving like every night. It was a real struggle, because he didn't want to leave. And it's strange, because if you were to ask him about that time now, completely blocked it out. Like he like barely remembers it. And I think in his mind, he never wanted to remember me that way, because I was always the strong mom. I was always, the room mom. I was the, his person. So, this past time, when I went through this, my daughter, she's 15. It wasn't as bad, but certain things I could tell bothered her, like, I couldn't come to the school, and I had to miss some things, and she wasn't used to that, so it was difficult on her this past year when I had my surgery. But I've gotten through it again, and again, I'm so grateful. And I think I really just tried to stay focused, and I I I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of soul searching, and I had people in my corner, people being super supportive and pushing me to be a better version and not to give up.
Yeah, that is so important. Your belief in yourself that you will make it through, and no matter what, and also that supportive family and friends around you who are cheering you on. That no matter what, you'll
Yes.
come through out of it without any issues. Was there anything surprising, or was there anything different that you realized or learned while you were writing your chapter?
It brought some things back to me, and even though it was, when I started doing this, it was, 18 and a half years, 19 years. It took me back to a place where there was a lot of uncertainty, and with anything where there's life with uncertainty, it brings up, a lot of emotions, and, you kind of relive it a little bit. And but I would write things down, and then I would stop, and then I would go for a walk, or I would play with my puppy, or do something. And I you know reminded myself, okay, you're not there. You're in good space, and you got through this. And even though it was, it does bring up some emotions, because it was an extremely difficult time.
Yeah. And what would be your advice to people who are going through a similar situation?
My advice would be, don't give up on yourself. I mean, I had doctors telling me they didn't think I would ever run again. I would never like be able to jog or go down a flight of stairs quickly, or I might walk, but I would need assistance and things like that. And I will tell you that, yeah, I might have been able to have settled for a life like that if I wouldn't have pushed myself. But I pushed myself, and I had people pushing me. My husband, he pushed me. We were engaged at the time, and he was like, come on, let's go. He used to play the Rocky music, the music from the theme of the music from Rocky. And I sometimes would get so mad at him, and I'd be like, but I knew it was for my better good. I know that now, obviously, but I would tell someone, just don't give up on yourself. Like, even if a doctor gives up on you, a person gives up on you, a job gives up, or whatever it is, don't give up on yourself. If you feel like, hey, I can turn this around, I can shift this, whether you're going through, whatever it is, a divorce, like a job loss, an addiction, whatever it might be. If you believe in yourself and you keep telling yourself, I can do this, I want to do this, I need to do this, I really feel like the positive energy that you put out there, a lot of times you can receive back in.
Absolutely. And in this book, we're all sharing different roadmaps. So, what's the roadmap that you're gifting to the readers?
My roadmap that I'm gifting to the readers is, if someone is going through something and it's difficult, I'm a coach, so I'm here to help. I can work with you, and be your cheerleader, and be your coach, and be able to help you. I would give you a roadmap to, like, different things that helped me along the way, such as journaling, positive reinforcements, affirmations that you do for yourself on a daily basis, journaling every day, getting in your headset, getting your mindset, out there and focused, and goal setting. It's really important to set goals for yourself, because if you don't, and you're not setting, if you don't set goals and you're not setting goals for yourself, then there's no, like, key points that you look forward to or that you look towards. And a lot of times, let's face it, we can get stuck. We can just throw in the towel, like, I don't want to do it today. You know what? I'd rather just sit and watch Netflix, or, I'd rather just, not do it today. And it's important to stay in that mindset every single day. So, like, from the first moment you get up in the morning, you immediately, my little thing is 3 things you're grateful for before you even get out of bed, whatever it is, and whatever comes to your mind. I'm grateful that I have a job to go to today. I'm grateful that I've got a roof over my head. I'm I'm grateful that I'm able to move and be able to do the things that I want to do, whatever it is for that person. To do things like that. So I have like a specific like roadmap with just different things that I would love to offer and love to help people on.
Uh, Thank you for that. So, who would you say is your biggest supporter, biggest cheerleader?
Oh gosh, definitely my family. Definitely my family. My son Blake, my daughter Paige, my husband Jay, my mother. Oh gosh, she's huge, huge supporter. My mom's 86 years old, and she is at a point in her life where some of the advice she gave years ago is different today. You know, so it's just which is funny. And I love it. So yeah, definitely my family, and my sister, my brother for sure.
Yeah, that's lovely. So, what are three words that you would use to describe yourself?
Oh wow. Um, I guess I describe myself. I think I'm loyal. I'm a loyal friend. I have girlfriends from when I was in high school that I'm still such great friends with. I adore them. So I think I'm a loyal friend. I try to be a good friend. So I think loyal. I would say, I think I have good energy. I try to put good energy out there, and so I think I would say that I'm good. I have good, full of energy, and um, I'd like to say I'm authentic. I'm real. I am what you get. I'm trying to grow old gracefully. I'm trying to stay in shape, trying to keep myself healthy, trying to, be a great role model for my daughter and my son. And I just think it's important to just try to be a good person. It doesn't cost anything to be kind. I try to be kind to people. I work in the industry where I'm with customers every day. I'm at work, and when they come up to me, I try to do the best that I can to help them.
Yeah. Those are absolutely great aspects of you that you've shared, and I'm sure you're going to touch many lives and continue touching all the friends and family that has been there in your life throughout. Um, so, what do you think is women empowerment? What does that mean to you?
Woman empowerment to me means that you don't settle. You don't settle. Take you don't take a path because someone's telling you to take a path. You take the path that you want to take. I think women have been empowering each other throughout the centuries. You go back and you look at history, and and you see powerful women that have you know um, you know changed the outcome of things, back from early on up until today. And we have a lot of great women role models. And I think women empowerment has been going on for centuries. And I think we just need to teach our daughters and our younger generation to keep moving forward and to do it with love and dignity and grace, and no matter what life throws at you, to do it with to do it in a way where you feel good about it, and you feel good about yourself, and you remain helpful and kind to people.
Absolutely. uh, you do need to be kind and helpful to people and also inspire them that
Absolutely.
there's so much more to the world, and you can empower people just with small words of encouragement. And
Mhm.
yeah, what's your favorite topic to talk about?
I think my favorite topic to talk about is for women to love themselves. to embrace themselves, to believe in themselves, to know that they are worthy. And that goes along with men as well. So just people in general. Most of my clients are women. So, but I have a son who I talk to a lot on a regular basis about things. He's 26. He's kind of putting himself out there in the world. And I give him the same advice I give my daughter. You go out there. You want to do it, you can do it. You can do anything you want to do. So I think my favorite topic is just trying to, help people believe in themselves, to let them know that they have a voice. And if there's something that they want to do, to go out and do it. Don't wait for an opportunity to come to you. Create your own opportunities.
Absolutely. How important do you think are books like the Fired Up series
Mm.
and podcasts and all that? Instead of the regular news and the noise and the chaos of the world, that's trying to put in stories of inspiration and hope. How
Mhm.
important is it?
Oh, it's so important. It's so important. It's important at any point of someone's life, but I think right now it's super important. There's so many things going on in the world today, and there's so many conflicts and so many things going on right now. In our country and in different countries, and I think that the more that people are able to like read things that are empowering and that they can have a takeaway of, what, wow, that was so great, I love that story, I can't believe that person went through that, and wow, look at everything they've achieved, and you know what, they can put it into their own life, or help somebody that they know put it into their life. It's priceless. Priceless. Doesn't even have a number on it. It's priceless.
And so, what kind of books do you enjoy reading?
You know what? I love all kinds of books. I love reading. I love reading books of fiction. I'm more of a happy reader, so I like to read, things, that are like, more inspiring than not. Things that can give you like, some hope, and things that can, just make you feel good. And I love reading stories about people, like biographies and things like that. I loved, I did read a book about, just some different people, and so I think when you read books about history and about people and things that they've gone through, you get to know people like on a different basis. Like, so you might see somebody as a celebrity, or you might see somebody as a president or something, and then you read a book and you're like, wow, whoa, they really went through a lot. Went through things. So I love books like that.
And do you also enjoy writing?
I do. I do like writing. I I journal. So I like journaling things down and things like that. I love to do that. I am kind of new on the whole writing deal, so it's just been a whole new experience for me. I'm more of a speaker than a writer, but this has been such a great experience.
Um, so, do you think there's chance that you would write your own book, and what would you call it?
I've been thinking about it. Thanks to you. Okay, so you're gonna have to take some credit for this, Rebecca, because
Thank
you've
you.
made it so, you've made this process so easy for all of us. I mean, everyone in this process, that the first Fired Up book, and I know an author, Wendy. I'm real close with Wendy, and she shared her journey, and she said how wonderful you were when I thought, we talked about doing this, and I was still a little nervous, and I met you and we talked, and I was like, okay, I'm doing this because you have this way about you. So I think it's important, if someone wants to write a book, that they need to do it with someone that's got experience, that's someone you can trust, someone that will help you, because like for me, I'm not like so much of a writer, and you helped me with that so much. So I think if someone, would want to write a book, um, they would have to get someone like they'd have to get you to help them with it. So yeah,
Thank you.
more than not, I have been thinking about it because I've been through a lot of different things in my life. And if I was going to write a book, there are definitely things that I could share, some inspirational things, some funny things. So I think I think that I've gone through loss. I've gone through different aspects of my life, and I think at this point I am thinking about it. So we'll see.
Great. And what kind of format do you prefer? Do you prefer ebooks or paperbacks or audiobooks for your books?
You know what? It's funny because I used to like to just read a book. I used to just get a book and read a book. Um, but then you get busy sometimes. I'm like always busy, and I have to say that since they started these audiobooks, it's fantastic because you can listen to an audiobook when you're doing all your chores around the house, you're bringing in groceries, you're cleaning, you're in the car driving, you can listen. So I love the fact that you can have the audio and, you can read the book. So sometimes I do a little of both. Sometimes I'll listen to a book, and if I'm really intrigued, then I'll get the paperback and then I'll like read it word for word. So I like it. I like it both ways.
That's nice. There are a lot of people who are, going in for audiobooks these days, listening to it wherever they are,
Hmm.
exercising,
Yeah.
walking, jogging, or just
Hmm.
commuting. Yeah, that's nice. So, what would be your advice to aspiring authors, or maybe people who don't consider themselves writers, but
Yeah.
they have stories that you think deserve to be shared with the world?
Totally me. Like I'm not a writer, I'm not a writer. I journal and do things like that. But if you go through the process with someone like yourself that gives you step by step and roadmaps, and even if you have technical difficulties or you have a problem figuring it out, um, if you have a story to be told, I think don't let the whole writing thing. I would tell someone, don't let the whole writing thing, get into it. Like don't let somebody feel like, oh, I'm not a writer. Yeah, I have a story to tell, but I'm not a writer. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a writer. If you have someone behind you that can work through the fact that you're not so much a writer and you basically tell your story, somebody can put it together just like you did. So, yeah, I would tell them, tell your story for sure.
Absolutely. All our stories are very unique, and we've only been given them. And
Hmm.
there are so many other people who are uh, in the same kind of path, who don't know what is going to open up. And hearing those stories, listening to those challenges and how they were overcome,
Yeah,
would give them the strength, the hope, the inspiration to get up and try to overcome them.
absolutely.
Yeah. Um, so, Laura, as we wrap up on this Author Speak session, uh, you can let our viewers know, who you help, how you help, and where they can find you.
Okay. So I do coaching. Um, I I love coaching. That's that is something that is like my favorite thing to do. And if there's someone out there that needs a coach, any type of coach, they can reach out to me. Your Opportunity Unlimited. I have a podcast, and it's called Your Opportunity Unlimited. I have, my email address. We can put it in the link. If you feel free to put it in, in here. Uh, and they can reach out to me just via Facebook, however, Messenger, however they want to. I'm always taking new clients. Actually just took a new client last week, and it was just someone that saw a post that I did and reached out to me, and I was like, sure, absolutely. So it's easy to get a hold of me.
Absolutely. So that is Laura, and she has been through many difficult times. She's relearned how to do everything after almost being paralyzed completely, and she stands here ready to run, ready to fly, soar, and she's there to inspire all of you with her impactful story. And we are getting ready with the book, so you can get a copy of the book soon. Fire up too, and read more about her story and get in touch with her on her social media handles. So thank you so much for joining us. Tomorrow we'll be meeting with Heather and
Oh,
listen to her powerful
mm,
story. So thank you so much, Laura, for joining us today. And
absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I really appreciate it. And if someone needs to get in touch with me, your opportunity unlimited.com, just reach out to me. Really.
absolutely.
Thank you,
So
Rebecca.
thank you. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.